Hello guys, welcome back again. This is the part 8 of our peer-to-peer file sharing system. This part we continue from where we left off the last time, which is the part 7. This part we will look at resolving the peer endpoint collection. So we will actually, every peer would have an up-to-date endpoint collection of the rest of the peers. So we will start. I've made some changes. So we will start with the domain peer endpoint collection. Then we will make some changes from here. So you stay tuned and let's get started. So inside our peer endpoints collection, we will make some changes. We will take off the IP endpoint. The IP endpoint collection and leave just the peer name. And then what we do here is we will move this all together. We'll make this a get set method. Get set property. We remove this as well. And what we're going to do is we will add a new property. It will be an observable collection of peer endpoint info, which we will create now. Peer endpoint info. The peer endpoints. We will use peer endpoints. So what we do here is we actually create a new class. Then we initialize it, the peer endpoint. That's it for here now. So what we're going to do again is just copy this and sort it out properly, so we don't have a closing for that. Should be fine now. And then we put the class inside here, so all the errors should go away. So we move this to peer endpoint info.cs. Absolutely nice. So what we do is we put some properties inside here. So first one would be, it's a string. That will be the peer URI. Second one will be an IP endpoint collection. That will be peer IP collection. Then one last is we just last updated. So as you can see, we've got everything up and running from here. So what we do is we go to the contract and we make some changes as well. So we leave the domain, we come to the contracts, we open them. So first of all, we check the repository. That is fine. We don't make no changes in a resolver repository, and as well as we don't make no changes inside the peer registration for now. But what we would do, where we're going to make the changes, is the services side. So you just bear in mind that for the first one, we're going to make the first change we're going to make is the IP configuration service. So we just added a generic key that will be our ping service. And it's get set. So this is the only change we will make in the IP configuration service. Then inside iPing service, we leave it as it is. We're not going to make any change from here. So right now we're done with the contracts. What we do is we come up to the logic side. This is where we make a few changes. So just bear in mind while we get on with it. So inside our peer configuration service, this what the changes we're gonna make. This will take a ping service, and then we actually extract the property that we created. Okay, that will be here. That will be a ping service here. So what we do is we actually initialize it inside our constructor. So we have our ping service. That will be equal to new ping service. So that should be fine for here now. Then one last thing here. We go to the start peer service, and then here the peer.host, we just make it ping service instead. That's the property we created. So for here we pretty much set up. So what we will do is we will make some changes inside our ping service here. So bear in mind, so inside here what we do is we use a delegate to actually extract the incoming data to our peer, as is it's just this does not actually return any value, so we cannot extract any value from it with the exception of using delegates. So what we will do is we will add in a new delegate. That will be a public delegate, and that's a void. So we call it on peer info. Then we have a peer endpoint info. So endpoint info. So that's our delegate. So inside our ping service, we create an event. This will be on peer info. Then you say peer endpoint information. So for here we would do we would write a bit of code inside our ping. So first of all, we declare a variable called host. This will be DNS dot get host entry. Then we pass in our peer URI. So we initiate an IP endpoint collection. IPs, that will be in that. So what we're gonna do is that we call our host dot address list. We convert it to a list. Then we check if it's not empty, and then we loop through the address. So we say IPS dot add new IP endpoint. So we put the P in our port. So it's pretty simple right here. So what we would do now is declare another variable. We call it a peer info. That will be new peer endpoint info. So we pass in the details that we've just, so we say last updated, that'll be a datetime .etc now. Peer URI, that'll be our peer URI, and peer IP collection, that'll be IPS. So as you can see, they're very straightforward. And then the last thing we're going to do here is that we call our peer endpoint, we invoke our event, we check if it's not empty, then we invoke it with our peer info details. So in this case, we can extract the incoming broadcast and then pass it on to the current peer. So that's all we need for here for now. So what we're going to do is we will move on to the next stage, which is just making sense of what we've got so far. So now we go to the presentation side. I mean, we use the text for now. So we go to the peer host service or peer service host. Then here what we do is we just add our ping service. And one more thing, we resolve the errors coming up here. Here we add our ping service. Then we're gonna make some few changes here. So what we do now here, we just remove this bit. And actually we will remove everything from here now because we're gonna rewrite the whole thing again. So what we're gonna do now is we will concentrate mostly on the on the run peer service, because this is where we're gonna make some changes. So now what we're gonna do here is we will if configure peer dot start peer service, then we can say peer services started. And then what we're going to do is we say peer dot channel dot ping. So what we do is we pass our details. So we say configure peer dot port, then register peer dot peer URI. So what we do is we subscribe to the event inside the ping service, so that whenever a new peer enters the network, we will get an update to our endpoint collection. So this is how we're going to do it. What we would do is we check if configure peer dot ping service is not empty, then we can say configure peer dot ping service dot peer endpoint information. So we can subscribe to this event, so we can just create a method. So inside here, what we would do is we check if the peer endpoint info is not empty. If the endpoint info is not empty, then what we do is say new peer endpoint so we can say endpoint info dot peer URI. So what we would do now is say endpoint info dot pip collection dot to list, check if it's not empty, dot for each IP, so we can just print out the details. So we can say console dot write line you can just make some more tabs, and what we do is just IP, say p dot address p dot ports. So as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. So now we're able to handle our peer endpoint collection. So what we would do is, now is we come to the inside the file share.test program.cs, and we make the last changes here to update our endpoint collection. So here, as you can see, we have to add our ping service. And we get the error away. So one more, and then one last thing inside the Logix, the Logix peer name resolver. Here we can comment this for now, so we don't get no errors. Then what we do is we just run it to see how we getting on. Now we can run it to see if we're able to resolve our endpoint. So this is the first here. We just chuck them here, put it here. We put this peer here, put this one here, we put this, so the first peer we call it P. Second one, call it John. So as you can see, we get firewall notification. This just normal. So as you can see, the peer name is being resolved. The peers are getting notification. We add one, Dina. So as you can see, our peer endpoint is being the endpoint collection is being updated now. So as we're able to update our endpoint, it will be pretty easy on the next stage to build our file sharing service. We will actually build a service in WCF TCP. So if you don't really understand the TCP and stuff, I've got videos on that. And I mean, if you've got into this far, please subscribe for the next coming videos. Thanks for your time and hope to catch you on the next video. Bye bye.